Hey everyone, this is Jake, and today I'm back here with another SSR review video, and in this video we are going to be covering Veronica, which is the newest edition of the SSR units, and it is also a soldier type character. And Veronica got pretty cool gimmicks, which is very unique, and this gimmick makes her really good in certain contents, even within the contents in Korea right now, especially within Gauntlet. So I'm going to be showing some clips from that, and we are going to be talking about some gear options. Her storyline is pretty good. I like the whole Flora made storylines, and they will be bound to appear more within the future story time to time as well. So pretty important character in terms of the story. But anyways, that is pretty much it, and let's jump into this review video and talk about Veronica. So quickly summarize her skills. She is all about just doing raw damage, and her passive skills give some of the damage resistance along with the ability to do more damage after getting deployed. Since she's a soldier class, she does not have ultimate skills, but instead she gets additional passive skill, which is pretty good. And her last passive skill is what makes her really unique, is that when her HP goes down to 0, she resists dying and she becomes this invincible state, so she gets invincible buff, and for the next 7 seconds they should be getting a massive damage boost, because as she loses the health she also gets a damage boost. So combined with all that, should be just a monster, just going forward, just keep attacking and brute forcing way through her enemies and just take them all down until the buff runs out, then she dies. And with this gimmicks, she could be used in many different contents, which I'll be showing throughout the later part in this video. Certain contents like the challenge dungeons within PVE, as well as fighting against Equal 1 within the scavenger dive. She is just really good in those aspects with the invincible buff she gets. Within PvP, there are certain setups that you can really utilize her with the certain types of ships, and she is just really strong and really good to rush format deck. There are a couple ways to counter her within the C server, so there's that. So I have some clips to show you guys the later part of this video. But overall, Veronica is still very cool units with this invincible gimmicks, and this gives her very different playstyle than many other characters, and just trying to keep her HP low as possible. So about her gears, I think usually the best option for her for both PvE and PvP is definitely something like a blade set from the Shadow Hole or even the Spirit sets, because those two sets will be giving her nice attack boost, and with the blade set she'll be able to spam her attack a little bit faster, and with the Spirit set she can utilize to charge up her skill a little bit faster and able to spam that special skill. Both gears are really good. I change time to time, but I'm usually running with the blade sets with the defender damage. So within the PvE, especially when I'm fighting against the Ball 1 or some other enemies, she can do a lot of tons of extra damage. And with the PvP, when I'm fighting a strong defender, that really could shatter through their enemies pretty easily. But that is pretty much it for gear option. It's pretty simple for her. She's definitely one of those characters you can take a huge benefit from the Shadow Hole gears, and Shadow Hole gears are made for characters like her. Now, if you don't have a Shadow Hole gear right now, but if you have, let's say, a Mage's attack speed set, that could be a really good option as well. And if you don't have any of those, then you can just go with stacking up her attack much as possible. So each blow she does with her invincible states will be hitting really hard, and that special attack should be able to wipe out a lot of enemies within the single hits. So she is a really flexible character, but usually the trend is people tend to run Spirit sets or the Blade sets. Now, when it comes to PvE contents, there are a couple contents that she really shines. First content I'm going to be showing you is Challenge Dungeon Act 4, and within this Act 4 you have to fight against this Titan and Mechanic team, and this Mechanic teams are pretty disgusting, and these enemies will do a lot of damage to your front units. So it's really going to be hard to defend against these units, and like I said, you can try to block it with Awaken Heal Day if you want to try it just to clear it, but to 3-star it, it's going to be really hard. Not to mention this stage limits some of the SSR unit usage, so you have to use only certain SSR units. But as you can see within the setup, Veronica is really taking a lot of hits and able to run them down, and before they're about to die, if you time it right, you can just summon her again and just keep going forward. And this way you should have a decent amount of cost available to just rush through. And actually within this clip I was using the defender damage one, the blade set, so I should have been using something else, and this would have been a lot easier because the Titan is a striker, so using the set I was using with the additional defender damage was a pretty bad choice. But either way I still cleared it. It's a pretty good character to use within this stage. Another stage that you can utilize Veronica really well is Evolve 1, because the Evolve 1 stages are very hard. You can just keep spamming her and redeploying her again, and start doing some damage with the other character as well. And Veronica with the ship should be able to do a very good damage, and you can see she's piercing through all these enemies really easily. So if you don't have a lot of SSR units, Veronica is actually a very good character that you can use. You just have to kind of do it manual, that's the only downside of it. But when you're doing this, you probably want to do it manual because you don't want to fail the stages. As you can see, Veronica is doing really amazing within the two crucial PVE contents that's really challenging, so that should already prove that invincible gimmick is really good. Now if there is going to be an enemy that wipes out your buffs and cleans out your buff states all the time, then Veronica is going to be really wicked against those kind of contents. But there is no real PvE content that does stuff like that, so Veronica with the invincible buff is pretty much invincible and just goes through them and do a crazy amount of burst damage. So if you want to use her with the PvE contents, I think she is a very good pick and very reliable and very long-lasting character so far. Now when it comes to PvP, I'm probably going to make a separate video of me combining all the clips of Veronica clips I have. Now the current meta changed a little bit since the Tower Shaolin came out, definitely. I think that's the new meta basically. But the rush comp before that was really strong, especially combined with the Amelia. It's just absolutely insane. So some of these clips you can see the Amelia with the Veronica just going through your usual now using decks. It can also pierce through some of the Evolve 1 decks. So with the squads I'm using, you can just pierce through many different meta setups, especially with awakening units within your party. So it's pretty good options if you don't want to invest a lot of money into awakening units or gears. And like I said, gears I was using on her is like blade set and stuff. I mean, there's some other character that I'm using in this party that you probably want to slap some mace gears and other gears, of course. But Veronica itself is very cheap units compared to other units, I think. For the 4 cost units, you just need her, and you just need to slap some Shadow Hall gears, and there you go. She's going to start piercing through enemies pretty easily, especially with the ship, which will be giving you additional buff for your soldier units as they lose a health. So each 1% of HP they lose converted into the attack boost. So with the ship, with the Veronica, with the 1% HP, with her invincible buff, you can imagine how much damage she's really going through in this clip. So if you want to have fun within their PvP with this future setup with this ship, I think you're going to have a lot of fun with her. Biggest downfall of her is definitely some of the buff removing character, like a Yanxing is a very good counter against her. There's also Operator that you can strip off their buffs, so that's also really good counter against the Veronica. Then there's also a Kami, and that will remove the buff from it, so Veronica will get caught in that, she's instantly dead. So there are a couple ways to break her through. She's definitely not invincible, but if you're not prepared for it, if there are certain ships are banned and you get opportunity, Veronica is really hard to defend against, and that's why she is really strong, or she used to be really strong with the Korean server until the tower meta hits back again. So we'll see how this tower meta will change, but for C server that's not going to come for a very long time. So there's that. So final thoughts. I think Veronica is very worthwhile character that you can use both in PvP and PvE. So if you are on fence about her, my answer is definitely yes. I think you will have a lot of fun with her. Not to mention, like I said, story side, she is very deep character. I really enjoyed her storyline and enjoy seeing her appear again with the certain event stories and other aspects as well, such as skins are top notch. I really like it. But overall, that is pretty much it for this review video, and I hope you guys learned a bit about Veronica. And please let me know what you guys think about the event as well, because I think this Flora made event story is quite good, and each individual made characters are very well designed. I really like all of them. But anyways, that is pretty much it. This is Jake. I will see you guys in my next video.